Bank West, Thornton Electric, and Gales Gas. Coach's Corner is also brought to you by Edward Jones Financial, Gateway Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Midwest Co-op, and Oahe Federal Credit Union. Coach's Corner is also brought to you by Lamb Motor, First Dakota National Bank, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, and Wagner Auto. And now, live from the Long Branch in downtown Pierre, it's award-winning KCCR Sports Director, John Winkler.
And a good evening as we welcome you here to the Long Branch, live for another edition of Coach's Corner, an exciting edition of Coach's Corner, as we'll talk with Coach Steele after that exciting win of the state championship. We'll also talk with Coach Tiffany Stoeser of the Pierre Governor volleyball team as they start their state tournament tomorrow. And then we'll talk wrestling. Matt Thornson of the Pierre girls and Shawn Lewis of the Pierre boys. We'll talk with those coaches. Of course, they were part of the coaching staff as well that got the big win for the state football championship. So we'll probably talk about that as well. But we will start with our conversation with Coach Steve Steele next. You're listening to Coach's Corner live for the Long Branch here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
DT and Dale here for the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. You know, the LB is a great place to kick back, relax, and unwind.
It has been for years, and it has a fantastic menu for lunch or dinner. Love that variety.
Yeah, good point. But we would be remiss if we didn't tell you about the best wings in town.
Tuesdays at the LB, try the delicious wings. And the more you buy, the more you save. The LB, the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. Now the home of KCCR's Coach's Corner, Wednesday evenings.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
For 30 years, Todd's Electric Service has had the privilege of providing electrical wiring solutions for residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in central South Dakota. From small service calls to large commercial projects, Todd's Electric Service has experienced electricians for any job. Call 223-2518 to schedule your project. Todd's Electric Service is your line to power. 223-2518.
As long as you have a local cooperative, you'll never farm alone. At CHS Midwest Cooperative, our team is your team, ready to help you make the decisions that are vital to your operation. From the seed, plant health, and marketing the grain, to fuel to keep you running, the feed to supplement your herds, and the financing programs to make it all possible. We're here for you. Give CHS Midwest Cooperative a call today and let us show you the value of the co-op. Local, loyal, and trusted for generations.
Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre still wants your trade or your spare vehicle, and we're willing to give you top dollar. And we'll throw in an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Sell us your car, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Trade in your vehicle for a new or different one, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Call 605-224-7378 and visit GatewayFordToyota.com.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Oahe Federal Credit Union member? At Oahe Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Oahe Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Oahe Federal Credit Union.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here to the Long Branch, live here at Coach's Corner, as we are joined with Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governor football team. We'll talk Hawaii hockey a little bit too, but Coach, do you know that you won the game still? Have you figured that out that you won the game?
I have, yeah. I had to consult video to make sure and double check a few things, but results did stand. We did win. That was good.
Yeah, what a fantastic game. Have you ever, and we've already talked about it, but I'll let you explain it again too, and have you ever been involved in a game like that, and an outcome like that, and a celebration of that magnitude like that?
No, not at all. Definitely not anything even remotely to that level. I think overtime in hockey last year was kind of on the other end. It was a crazy good game, but we're on the other end of that. We had one in college where we kind of lost on the last play, but it was not getting something on offense, so it wasn't quite, obviously the defense would hold the advantage in all of those situations. But, yeah, I said no, that was by far the most memorable game and a really fun celebration, something that you don't really – you don't guarantee that you get to do one of those in a career, and definitely not guaranteed another.
Yeah, you mentioned, too, the pure jubilation of a win like that doesn't come in life very often, if at all, and especially in the game of football, if at all, something like that. And to watch some of the video, to see some of the pictures of you guys celebrating it, and the hugs and the jumping hugs that you guys were giving everybody, and the pictures that were taken at the right moment. There's so many words to put into it, but the picture just speaks for itself, and there doesn't need to be words to it.
Yeah, and there, I don't know that there is too many other than just, like you said, jubilation's a good one. It was just really cool, and then our filmer, Ashton Grease, actually a hockey player for us too, that did a great job on our team film. The kick goes through, and you get a great view of the kick. I mean, what a beautiful kick. But then, he gets a great little end-to-end shot of the crowd just going bonkers, and just a really special moment, I think, for everyone that was able to be down there, and, everybody at home. I got sent pictures and videos of different places going crazy here back in Pierre, too. So just a fun moment to get to be a part of.
And let's talk about how you're able to do that. You're down 27-7. You fumble the football, down by 20 points. You're able to get a defensive stop. That moment when T got back on offense, up by 20 points, that was a defining moment because they easily could have gone up by 27, 28 points, made it a 4-score game. Things could have been way different, but the defense stepped up. How did that comeback start?
Well, I mean, like you said, the defense, that was the defining drive of the game. I guess from that point on, every drive was the defining drive of the game, but that was the first one that really kind of got some of that momentum going, keeping them out of the end zone, keeping them off of any kind of points. They had that one drive where they got down all the way into the 5, had a penalty back them up, and then we forced them into a field goal and they missed. And, that came back and was huge too. So, I mean, every single point, even our extra point that that they missed and, we got a good rush on, all those little things, they mattered, and that's what we pitched the kids all week is that every little thing is going to make a difference in this game and just keep wearing them down. And, in the end, if we're there, let's see if we can make it happen.
And the last drive of the game, you talk about, everybody wants to talk about a 2-minute offense, and you see it in football sometimes, you see it in college, but to have it in high school doesn't happen very often. A 2-minute offense is you get a big play, you go score. It's the drive is not very long, and the drive wasn't very long, but it was very methodical, even as short as it was, being able to get up, get a spike, because you don't hardly ever see someone spiking the football in high school football, and you guys were able to do that a couple different times. For you as a head coach and loving offense as you do, how much fun was it to maybe go back and watch them? How much fun was it? Probably wasn't a whole lot of fun at that time. It was probably just real nervousness, but how much fun was it overall to see that offense drive down one more time?
I actually would say that was a lot of fun to be out there. I mean, you were still nervous, obviously, but that was – when they overturned the call, I said, and you're in that position. I'll use Coach Nye because he really enjoys a certain NFL team. He's just like, well, I know what they'd have done. They'd have taken a knee and went to overtime and lost. And that made that decision that much easier. Because we were going to play to win. We told ourselves that right away. And we had 30 seconds or so and 2 timeouts, so we figured, hey, it's just 3 plays, 3 big plays. That's all we need is 3 big plays. Obviously, Lincoln made a crazy good play on the first one, getting out and getting that first down. That's the other most important thing is you've got to get a first down so that the clock stops, giving you a chance to line up and then spike the ball. And then, we'd talk to him, hey, if we're inbounds, just downs don't matter. Just go spike the ball. And the funniest part, I didn't send you this. I should. Cade Kaiser makes this 20-yard catch over the middle, places the ball down
Perfectly.
Everyone runs up. And Christian Bush actually goes up and just puts his hand on it, and the ref kind of walks up and he's like, yeah, that's pretty close. And then just was like, yep, we're good. Just go. And so I said it was one of those crazy things where our guys actually did such a great job executing and being efficient that they spotted the ball close enough where the ref was like, yeah, sure. And then we got up there fast enough where he actually had to slow our guys down, before the clock because we couldn't spike it until they had the chain set, which we kind of ended up doing anyway. But, I mean, the guys were so on the ball with that in that intense pressure moment that we didn't lose any time, and then we were able to get that third play off. Lincoln makes a tremendous scramble, trucks that dude at the end for the extra 3 yards. Not that we needed 3 yards with that kick, I guess.
and lost
and
20
away we
yards
go.
and still got it.
Yeah.
You mentioned that too because it came back to me after you talked about how Kaiser laid, because I didn't mention it on the radio, but when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, he really did do that. Put the ball down perfectly. Christian Bush just went in and put his hand on the ball, and the referee did nothing because it was just that perfect. And I think you're about to show me the video of it
there's
right now.
the video right there.
Yeah,
I'm not lying. I know everyone at home can't see this, but
right.
This is real.
But yeah, Cade Kaiser gets tackled at the yard line. I believe that's the 44-yard line. And Christian Bush just gets right on the ball, and the referee doesn't touch it because it was that perfect of a
He's just
spot.
like, yeah, we're good. Carry on.
So Cade Kaiser, when he's out of high school and you got 2 more years with him, he's going to be a referee because he knows exactly how to spot a football.
He's very good at it.
Yeah. As we get we're starting to run out of time here, so we got to talk a little bit about hockey because hockey's starting up next week Friday already. You transition as quickly as we talk about the state championship of football. You transition right to hockey. You're going to Oahe this weekend and playing a couple of games. The preseason for you guys has been good, and it's been good to find the guys in their right spots and find the new line combinations after you've graduated a lot of guys from last year's team. What do you like about this hockey team?
Well, I think the fun part about this group is we've got a lot of depth right now. There's a lot of competitions for spots. And, I think we're going to be a really tough team just because of that. I think we're not going to be super top heavy. We're going to have 3 really solid lines, and our goaltenders are back, and I think you could have argued that we had the 2 best goalies in the state last year playing for us, and we've got both of them back, and Colin Lee's worked himself into that conversation as well. I mean, so, not many teams first off, not many teams have 3 goalies, more or less 3 that they feel confident in playing in a varsity hockey game. So, I mean, it's a really cool situation for us to be in right now, and we're just excited to get going.
And you mentioned depth, and we might end on here this one, that Rushmore had a lot of depth last year, and they were able to get to the state championship. Maybe talent-wise, your top line was the best line in the state without question, but having that depth goes really far, especially in a state tournament.
Yeah, and, even the little things, like last year we had to use our top line to kill penalties, and this year we've got some kids that they work so hard, and, I think they're going to be able to take a lot of those responsibilities away from those lines that you traditionally look at to be your scoring lines, and, if they don't have to expend energy out there killing penalties in situations you're not looking to score goals, then they can go score goals in those situations that you should be.
Talking with Coach Steve Steele here of the Pierre Governor football team and Hawaii hockey as the Capitals. Again, you can listen to Capitals games on Capital City Rock. You can watch them on Capital City Rock Sports on YouTube. But before I do let you go, we're going to talk a lot more hockey next week. It's going to be probably hard to not talk a little bit about football next week. But going into this weekend, what do you want to see from this hockey team to put you in the right spot going into the regular season next week?
Well, we just got to keep getting better. I mean, we're splitting our team this weekend. Our JV is actually going to Watertown for a jamboree, so we're going to send quite a few guys there to play a couple extra games than they would be going just to Oahe. So we'll take a smaller squad down there, and this will be the first game back for a couple guys. Jaden Floor obviously wasn't playing during football season, so be good just to see those guys get out there, get some game time in, and start knocking off a little bit of the rust.
All right, one more question: How good is this Pierre Governor football coaching staff with 2 of them right here?
It's weird not having football practice, and then I get here and it's like we're having football practice right now, and then we're talking about hockey, so it's really confusing right now to me. But this has been such a fun year, such a fun group of guys to work with. They work extremely hard, and like I said, the guys do the things the right way. Their dads and husbands first, and that's how it should be.
And we'll talk with Coach Matt Thornson along with Shawn Lewis here coming up in just a little bit. But, Coach, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on, again, that state championship, and looking forward now to hockey season.
Absolutely. Thanks, John.
We'll be back with and talk with Coach Thornson of Pierre Governor Girls Wrestling as you're listening to Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For an excellent choice to meet, greet, or eat, be sure to head to downtown Pierre and the Long Branch. The Long Branch has plenty of room for the big groups, cozy spots for that intimate setting, and you're going to love the selections and variety on their menu. Plus, their specials are sure to please. There's a fantastic variety of libations available, and it's a great place to unwind. Now, home of KCCR Coach's Corner Wednesday nights, come on down to the LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pier Street, downtown Pierre.
There wasn't always a windmill in Millbank or a vinegar museum in Roslyn. Someone had to paint the graffiti mural on the Turtle Creek spillway. And before First Dakota filed the first charter in 1872, you couldn't bank in South Dakota. Every timeless institution, tradition, and thriving business was started somewhere by someone who had a dream and the passion to make it happen first. What will be your South Dakota first? Visit firstdakota.com/first. Member FDIC.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
As long as you have a local cooperative, you'll never farm alone. At CHS Midwest Cooperative, our team is your team, ready to help you make the decisions that are vital to your operation. From the seed, plant health, and marketing the grain, to fuel to keep you running, the feed to supplement your herds, and the financing programs to make it all possible. We're here for you. Give CHS Midwest Cooperative a call today and let us show you the value of the co-op. Local, loyal, and trusted for generations.
When you want the best prices and best selection, go to Wagner Auto in Pierre. The certified sales staff at Wagner Auto will provide you service after the sale and how to get easy financing. Check out their website, wagnerauto.com, or stop in. They have the best prices and won't be undersold. Wagner Auto has the region's largest selection with over 280 new and quality pre-owned vehicles. GM certified pre-owned vehicles give you peace of mind with their 12-month or 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty and 5-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Log on to wagnerauto.com or stop by Wagner Auto in Pierre, South Dakota's oldest auto dealer since 1907.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here live at the Long Branch, as we are joined with Coach Matt Thornson of the Pierre Governor girls wrestling team. All right, we're gonna talk girls wrestling, but first, you're part of that the football coaching staff. So I asked Coach Steele, and I'm sure the answer is probably gonna be the same. Have you ever been a part of a game like that? The ending, championship on the line. Has there been anything that's been close to what happened on Friday?
Not even close. I was talking to other coaches, and I was like, we couldn't have written that up to be better. Even in a movie, you couldn't draw it up to be a more suspenseful, up and down game. So that was it was absolutely incredible. I was speechless afterwards.
And your brother's done a lot of videos for Pure Football, and I'm excited to see this one because it really is going to be like a movie because there's so many things that happen in that game that will make it seem like a movie. But you're exactly right. You can't write that in. If you write it, it's too cheesy of a movie.
Correct.
But let's go ahead and let's talk about girls wrestling because practice started on Monday. How has the first 3 days of practice been?
It's been good. We got a lot of girls out, which is really nice to see, and the girls returning from last year. It's crazy how much further ahead they are this year than they were at this time last year. And I keep telling them, there's guys who've wrestled for 7, 8, 10 years and they don't have it figured out. You girls have wrestled for 1 year and you see the progress you've made. Think about one more year, and one more year after that, how high and how far we can go with this group of girls. And there's obviously a lot of new girls as well, which is again great to see, but they are there's a long ways to go with a lot of those girls,
because you're returning everybody from last year, correct?
Yeah, we believe we only had sophomores. Our oldest group was sophomores last year, so now our oldest group is juniors. So we won't lose anybody going forward this year either.
And I think that's going to be the thing that we're going to not realize until we actually sit down and think about it in the next couple of years is that, or even this year, that this is only the second year of girls wrestling program, and what Pierre did last year and what they have the potential to do this year, it's going to be hard to remember. Like, this is only the second year of girls wrestling program.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is pretty incredible, and we have some of these girls talking, and they're so excited about the sport because of how it ended last year. I mean, they all had the lowest place we had at state last year was 3rd place, and which is pretty incredible, really incredible. And trying to match that again and continue to improve is a daunting task. But I know with this crew, I mean, they're excited and they're ready to work hard to achieve that.
You know, and there's positives and negatives to how this started, because you get the positives of the Pierre boys team has been so good for so many years, but the negative is you got to try, you know, what's Pierre wrestling? You got to be good. Even if it's the first year girls program, you still got to be good. So the pressure was there, but there was nobody no team that was better than what Pierre was in the state tournament last year.
No, not at all. And really what I kind of tip my hat to is a culture that, you know, we've built with Coach Lewis and the boys program. It's pretty easy to not follow up, but I mean, just kind of join in with it. You know, it's not like they treated the girls as a whole different team. They treated it like you're part of our team. So it wasn't ever like we were trying to be like what the boys are doing. We joined in with them and made the transition a lot easier and more successful, in my opinion. And now they just know that in Pierre wrestling, we're successful and we work hard, and that's kind of expected.
And you mentioned how many girls have continued to join these last couple of years, and you've been fortunate to be hired as the head coach for the girls team, which in the state, is there one other head coach, or are you the only head coach?
Don't quote me on anything. I'm not sure. I haven't heard much about it. I'm sure that there's other coaches assigned for the girls. I don't know if there's a specific coaching staff for the girls. I really don't know the numbers. I know we've talked to a couple of the coaches around the state, and they're nowhere near where we are, which is a testament to kind of the Pierre community and how well they buy into wrestling, because that's not right now, it's not expanded throughout all of South Dakota like it has here in Pierre.
And that's one of the things too, is that you want to expand across the state, but how Pierre is everybody's go, we don't want to wrestle Pierre. Why do we want to do that?
No, I know.
But you're no matter what, if there's another one or not, you were the first in the state. You'll go down as a great trivia question here in 40, 50 years. Who was the first ever head coach in girls wrestling in South Dakota? But what does that mean to you, being able to be the first head coach hired to be a girls wrestling coach?
Extremely honored. Really fortunate to be. I've been with the wrestling program with the guys for the last four years or so. But it means a lot, and I don't want to say there's a lot of pressure, but I am excited to keep the successful tradition in Pierre alive, and that's with wrestling, that's obviously with football. Everything we do, we strive to be a great program on and off the mat. So, there's a lot of work to be done, and I know that, and I think myself, Coach Heasley, and the rest of the girls, we're up for that challenge for sure.
And last year, Coach Lewis, everybody, like you mentioned, everybody was together. You were able to split some practices, but you had the coaches are running 2 a days every single day.
Yeah.
Is there anything different? Is it still kind of you guys are split up? Is there a couple of times where you guys might be at the same practice? How does that work out?
Right. Well, it's actually a lot different this year, because last year it was me, Coach Lewis, Coach Heasley, and a couple other coaches that we were 2 a days every day all year, girls in the morning, boys after school. But now, since there's 2 different programs, 2 different coaching staffs, I don't get to see Coach Lewis every day, which is we talked about it this morning because we are having 2 days right now. So I ran into him this morning. I was like, this is weird. This is weird not seeing you. We go from seeing each other every day all fall.
Yeah.
Usually every day all winter, and then almost every day all summer as well. So me and Coach Lewis and a lot of the coaches, we're pretty hip to hip for the majority of the year, and now it's like, I'll accidentally call out Coach Lou's name, and he's not anywhere to be found. So a lot different, but so that's maybe a downside of it. We don't get to see, I don't get to work with the boys as much anymore, but it's good for the girls program to have a designated coach and coaching staff, because that shows them that we care about you guys. You guys are a valuable team in this community. So it was the right thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Do you know the number offhand? How many girls are in the wrestling program this year?
Right now, currently K through 12. Since I do the middle school girls as well as the high school girls, we're at 27. And that's awesome. I don't see that going down at all. There's already a couple of girls inquiring about joining the team. So, if we could stick around that 25, number range, I mean, that's incredible. And it's just, again, we won't lose anybody next year, so it'll only go up from there.
I'm going to ask real quick. Coach Lewis is here. How many boys are in the wrestling program right now? 34 around there. So to compare everybody that is saying, well, is 27 good or bad? 34 boys, and it's been going on for the beginning of time.
And that's 9 through 12, but still,
yes. But to have 27 girls in just the second year is huge. That is going to be the best in the state. It has to be one of the best in the state, and huge to have in just 2 years.
No, absolutely, yeah. It's growing in Pierre. I mean, the buy-in from the girls and how welcoming they are, it's infectious. There's a lot of girls that kind of joined in. They're like, well, we'll give it a shot for the first week. They're all in. I mean, and granted, wrestling isn't maybe for every single person out there. It's a tough sport. Everybody knows that. But the culture and the environment that we have, in Pierre wrestling, it's a welcoming, safe environment for sure, and it's something that you want to be a part of.
And that was going to be my next question, or talk about it, the stigma that wrestling has sometimes that it's not for girls. It is definitely for girls, and Pierre is showing why it is for girls.
Absolutely. There were times last year when it's just like, I can't believe, that there's girls of all shapes, sizes, colors. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, wrestling is something that's for everybody. And granted, like I said, it's a tough sport. There's no denying that. You can't hide that. But anybody can do it, which is really cool to see all these different girls come out and give it a shot and see success right away. Whereas they might not see that in basketball if they're not, a certain stature or whatever the case may be. But in wrestling, like, you can be 5'0" or you can be 6'3". You can have success in your own way in wrestling.
A couple more questions. Is first weight classes. There's been how many were there last year, and how many are there going to be this year?
Last year was really kind of wish-washy, just because they didn't know exactly where all the girls would be. So they decided at the end of the year just to kind of make some groups, and they called them weight classes, but there were not weight classes throughout the year. This year there's 10 weight classes that are set by the Activities Association that will carry on all year. And there will be times, I'm sure, where you kind of have to bump around a little bit to make sure that there's enough matches for everybody. But there are 10 weight classes that will be at state.
And then when's the first competition for Pierre girls?
December 4th will be our first competition, and that's in Mandan. And we'll travel with the guys, the boys program, to Mandan. But, yeah, we're really excited for that. We'll just to show what we got.
Because that's in basically 2 weeks, and that's right around 2 weeks, I guess, yeah. And what do you want to see from your girls before I let you go? What do you want to see from your girls?
Just to see them compete. I mean, when the girls step on the mat, I want to see a good product out there. I want to see them work hard, compete, have fun. And really the big thing about that is to be a program, be a team, be a family. And it's so much fun to see those girls in each other's corners and cheer each other on and just have fun out there and wrestle hard.
Coach Matt Thornson of the Pierre Governor Girls Wrestling Program. Coach, I appreciate the time. And first of many conversations. We're going to have a lot of conversations throughout this year. Yeah, so appreciate it, and have fun with practice. I was about to say good luck, but you're still got a little bit of time before you actually get that the first competition in. But have some fun in practice.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do.
Coach Matt Thornson of the Pierre Governor Girls Wrestling Program. We will return and talk with Coach Tiffany Stoeser. You're listening to Coach's Corner live at the Long Branch here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station.
Dale and DT here for the LB.
Dale, the Long Branch offers variety, live music, and drink specials to help you unwind.
True, but you have got to try one of the most diverse menus available.
Got to get in a shout-out for their wings. Some of the best in town. Tuesdays, they have wing specials and a killer selection of flavors.
And now, the LB is home of KCCR's Coach's Corner. Wednesday nights up on the big stage.
Come for the food, stay for the fun. The LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pierre Street in downtown Pierre.
It takes hard work to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than just sports. It also goes for your financial goals. You work hard for your money. You deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. Your local Edward Jones financial advisor can help. If your investments aren't getting you closer to the win, visit edwardjones.com or stop by your local Pierre area Edward Jones office for a financial review. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Oahe Federal Credit Union member? At Oahe Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Oahe Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Oahe Federal Credit Union.
Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre still wants your trade or your spare vehicle, and we're willing to give you top dollar. And we'll throw in an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Sell us your car, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Trade in your vehicle for a new or different one, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Call 605-224-7378 and visit gatewayfordtoyota.com.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Joining me is Coach Tiffany Stoeser of the Pierre Governor Volleyball Team. Coach, it's good to talk to you one more time here because we're getting set for the state tournament. Last Thursday to this Thursday, it feels like it's taken forever to get here, but obviously, when this is airing, you guys have already had your practice in, but while we talk here, it will be before we actually have before you actually get the practice, before you leave for Rapid City. But how has this week been? How much fun has it been since Thursday night after getting that win to now here now here Monday?
It's been a lot of excitement. Wednesday, I thought our girls played really well. They felt that their state tournament. And then as a school, we get to travel to watch a football team and see the success there, and what a fun environment. And so the feeling, the celebration and excitement just kind of carrying into this week. I can tell there's a little bit of extra in their steps, when they're at practice today. Definitely can feel the hunger, the excitement to get to the state tournament, a little bit of anxiety from the unknown, but all things positive this week, and we're looking forward to it.
We kind of talked about it in the post game a little bit on Thursday that you're getting ready for Brandon Valley, but you got to be prepared for all 7 teams, because after you play Brandon Valley, you're guaranteed 2 more games no matter what happens, and you don't know who your opponent's going to be. You know who one of the 2 opponents will be on Thursday, or on Friday. How do you handle that? How do you get prepared, you as a coach, and then start to relate on the team as you get farther in the tournament?
So we're really preparing for our first match, and then spending most of the time on ourselves. I think that if we play like we did against Yankton, if we can control all of those things and play the best that we can on our side of the net, whatever the score ends up, we're going to be happy with the result. So that's what we're going to focus on. I think we can control a lot of the game when we're playing the way that we did on Thursday. We walk away saying we felt that we controlled that match. Usually you're winning the sets. So that's the mentality we're going in with. We're going to perfect ourselves and make sure that our team is ready for state tournament volleyball.
And the crazy thing is you guys will practice first on Wednesday morning, and then now you're not the last game on Thursday, but you have to wait all day Wednesday after you get done, and then have to wait till the afternoon on Thursday to play your first game. What's the time frame? What do you have set for an itinerary after your practice is done Wednesday morning?
So we get an hour practice from 9 to 10 that they give you at the monument where we're going to play. We went ahead and reached out to college, and we're going to get some time in their gym right afterwards. So at 10:30, we're going to follow up with another, get in the gym, move our feet around, work on a few other things that we won't get accomplished in that first hour right off the bus. Then, we're going to get checked in. We're going to we promised that we'd get them healthy snacks for, we're there full 4 days for the rooms and get a good team lunch in. And then we're going to have some downtime in the afternoon, do some things, walk around a little bit in town. FCA, Fellowship Christian Athletes, sponsors a meal on that evening at 6:30, so we're going to get over there. There's enough little events throughout the day that I think we're going to get through and get to bed early. So got more practices lined up every morning at the college. And so I feel like, we are going to be busy enough. I want to make sure they get some downtime. They've still got homework to get done and get in there. So there's a lot of things, but this will be a good experience for them. They're going to be busy.
And that's the thing, is being busy without trying to be too busy, because they're high school kids, so they don't get tired as easy as what you do once you get out of high school and out of college. But you got to make sure that they're still fresh. So I think there's that balance is going to be, especially because it's new. You don't know how things are going to go. The balance has got to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, and even just the internal excitement and the anxiety a little bit that they're going to have wears on you. I think they're going to need a couple hours in the afternoon just to lay low, sit in the room, do some homework, watch a show on TV, just lay down a little bit, get some rest. I want them to get enough practice in, but also have their legs rested enough. So I'm not trying to say it's going to be play it by ear, but I'm going to kind of watch the girls, watch their moods, watch how they're acting, and we'll play it by ear on a plan for the evening.
Let's talk a little bit about 2 of your players right now, and we'll talk about another 2 players here soon. But the All ESD team came out. Lily Sanchez, Avery Kaiser, both selected for the All ESD, both juniors, so they get another chance to have them next year too. But just what these 2 mean to this Pierre Governor team.
Well, they're just, no doubt in my mind they deserve to be on that team, but I'm so proud of them, especially because they really had to come on as leaders this year. Lily, hadn't had any time really in a varsity match at all until this year, and Avery had some time, but certainly was kind of our outside hitter number 2. So for them to stand out among all other teams, they had to be voted on by numerous coaches, and fit, that itinerary of just a few athletes, in the whole state that were able to receive that award. We're proud of them. They're good kids. They're great students. They just are all around awesome kids and great representation up here.
And, there's probably a few more kids on the team that you probably said, boy, they had a shot to be part of either honorable mention or on that first team as well.
Yeah, there's a handful in there that could have made it. The spots are so limited that I think coaches feel like you've got to get a couple from every team, and so you see 2 from this team, 1 from a team that really didn't even win any games, and so in my eyes we had at least 5 or 6 that could be just on there just as much as anybody else.
And you finished in second place in the ESD, only had 2 losses, but only behind Brandon Valley, which quite frankly, is your first round opponent. So that there's a little bit more bulletin board material for that first game. But how important is it to finish second in the ESD conference?
Finishing second's an accomplishment. That an ESD championship is something that Pierre volleyball doesn't have, very many of. I think 1. So that, we were aiming for it. We're a game short. But the thing is now that we know that Brandon Valley is 1 and we're 2, the underdogs are the most hungry sometimes. And, the fact that they beat us in 4 sets, we didn't think we played well. Now they took the ESD, from us. I think that I'd rather be us going into Thursday.
And now let's talk about your other 2 seniors, Hattie Cumbo and Jenna Bush, who are both going to be playing for their final 3 games in their high school career in volleyball, and how special it is for those 2 to be the 2 that get to be the seniors to take this team back to state for the first time in 5 years.
Absolutely. No matter what happens this weekend, I hope that they walk away thinking, I was the leader of the team when we changed what Governor Volleyball looked like, when we started a winning tradition, when we, showed all these younger girls what teammates are and what relationships mean and how much they matter. They bring the excitement to every practice. They have just the little things. They have lists in the locker room of what's needed for practice, what the practice plan is going to be, what you need to wear. They've got it all planned out, checklists for what they need to pack for state tournament. I mean, just those things, kind of keeping the girls on a leash a little bit. They did that, held them all accountable, and this is their season. So I'm proud of them, and they left their mark and did some extra.
All right, let's actually talk about your first round opponent here, Brandon Valley. What you guys did lose to him in the regular season, and you mentioned how the underdogs are usually the more hungry team. But what have you seen lately from them? What maybe is something that's different than what you saw when you guys played them?
They still have a strong block, still a lot of defense, but I'm starting to see some places where I think that we can sneak in there and score some points that I didn't recognize before. They struggled a little bit with Huron, they struggled quite a bit with Huron, and they struggled a little bit with Mitchell. And in these last few sets, people are exposing some weaknesses that I think we can capitalize on. And so I'm feeling more confident going in. I like how we're playing right now. I like where, I think we've improved a lot since we've seen them the last time. They have too. They're going to be hungry as well. They've got good seniors, that they want to continue their season on a winning streak too. But I like where we're at right now. I like this matchup, and I'm betting on us.
And this opportunity to take on Brandon Valley, but in the first game, in the first match, first game, first couple points, you mentioned it in the Sodak 16. You weren't really too concerned with how the points went, just wanted them to get kind of comfortable. Is that the same kind of feeling going into Thursday afternoon, or are those first points more important to get?
Every point's going to be more important here. I think that the level of play is going to be better than we probably saw on Thursday. But I'm still expecting our girls to have to come, to settle in. First game of state tournament, none of them have been there. Pierre hasn't been there forever. The crowd's huge. It's a new building. It's a huge environment. But Brandon Valley's in the same boat. They're going to have the same sort of feeling. So I always think at a state tournament, that first match, especially the first time two teams walk out, you see some ugly volleyball, some things that aren't traditional for either squad. I'm hoping that we keep it close, for that first 8-10 points, and then we start to get comfortable, settle in, and start to score more points.
Talk with Coach Tiffany Stoeser of the Pierre Governor volleyball team, and we got to watch the football team win a state championship and see the huge crowd. School is out on Friday. How excited are you to see, because this crowd was huge last Thursday. How excited are you to see what this crowd brings Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Yeah, the excitement's there. I think state tournaments are getting contagious. I think the kids are loving this, the excitement that comes with it. I went to the Dome, my family went there. There's stuff before the game, there's stuff during the game, there's stuff after the game, and the Pierre fans show up to all of it. I'm expecting, I love that the district gave Friday off. I don't remember a girls' event that had, a day off of school in celebration of it. So, the excitement, they can feel the excitement. They felt that it deserved a day off, and now we're probably going to have some kids there on Thursday, which I wasn't sure how that would work. So, proud of the school, proud of the community, and we'll make sure to provide a good time.
Two more questions.
Yep.
First question is, how do you beat Brandon Valley on Thursday?
Yeah, so we just got to, if we play defense the way we played, we did that with communication. We stepped up the communication. You were in our practice. You heard how loud the music is. We've got to talk over the environment that we're going to be in, and then aggressive serving. I thought we served aggressively in Yankton, but we had too many errors. So working on those two things, if we can serve aggressive and throw them out of system, they've got to come back with free balls or roll shots or something that we can handle. And then on defense, we've got to make sure we're communicating on every single ball. And when we do that, we play defense really well. All
right, last question is, I know you don't want to look ahead past Brandon Valley yet, but how do the Pierre Governors win the AA state championship?
Just staying positive and doing our thing. Can't overthink the environment. If we stay mentally in check, we're a really good volleyball team, one of the best ever. I think, I told the girls we got a championship attitude and underdog hustle, and when you have those types of things, anything can happen. We might be the darkest horse in the tournament.
Coach Tiffany Stoeser, the Pierre Governors coach, this has been a lot of fun to watch you guys throughout this entire season. Really looking forward to this weekend. Of course, all games for Pierre Governors are on KCCR and online at kccrradio.com. Sincerely, good luck. Really excited for you guys, and what a pleasure this has been to watch the Pierre Governor volleyball team all season.
Thank you for covering every match. You're there at every game, and someday, the girls have all these recordings. They're going to look back and be glad that somebody covered it. So I appreciate that.
Coach Tiffany Stoeser, the Pierre Governors coach, thank you so much, and good luck on this weekend.
Thanks, Shawn.
Back with more of Coach's Corner after this here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
DT and Dale here for the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. The LB is a great place to kick back, relax, and unwind.
It has been for years, and it has a fantastic menu for lunch or dinner. Love that variety.
Yeah, good point. But we would be remiss if we didn't tell you about the best wings in town.
Tuesdays at the LB, try the delicious wings. And the more you buy, the more you save. The LB, the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. now the home of KCCR's Coach's Corner, Wednesday evenings.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here to Coach's Corner Live, the Long Branch. Joining me is Coach Shawn Lewis of the Pierre football team and also the Pierre boys wrestling team. Before we get into wrestling, because again, we just talked with Coach Thornson just a little bit ago that wrestling has started, I'll ask you the same question I asked the other two coaches: is have you ever been a part of a game like what you saw on Friday, coached on Friday, and the how the game ended, how the game was played, and what was on the line? Has there been anything that's been close to that before?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I actually honestly had to watch the game last night when it finally came out on South Dakota Public Broadcasting to really kind of get a feel of it, because during the game you're making so many calls, you're thinking you're doing this. It's a blur by the time you're done. I could probably say when we beat Harrisburg 4 years ago or 5 years ago now in the Dome, that was probably really similar, as we had some halftime adjustments to make. And then, we kind of came back at the end and really didn't ever have a lead. You could also say that we had some similar games throughout the playoffs of, with Watertown and then getting down with Aberdeen as well. And so we had similar style games, but probably none that ended in the dramatic fashion when you think that we led for no seconds throughout the entire game.
Your first opportunity to lead was 4 seconds left on the clock, and yeah, that was a fantastic finish. And before we again jump into wrestling here, one other thing is being the defense coordinator, that was the offense was struggling to get moving, and when one side of the ball struggles, the other side of the ball tries to kind of pick up the other side, and you guys were able to get those stops in that second half. Just how proud of you are you of that defense to be able to allow that, not to allow that first score, but after that first score was had in the second half, to then shut T out the rest of the way?
It was. I was really proud of our guys. We had legitimately one halftime adjustment to make, and then from there it was just a few small tweaks. We kept sticking with the plan, and it's kind of a similar thing to what we did in Aberdeen. Is we really rotated our D-line, which in the first half kind of cost us a little bit, because we had some guys in there and they really weren't quite into it, and we rotated our ends a little bit as well. And then just as the game starts to progress and as their offensive line doesn't rotate and they start to get tired and our guys just keep coming in fresh, and we're getting a better feel for the game in the second half, and we're doing the same with our ends, and then all of a sudden we start getting a little more aggressive and we really put them back on their heels. I mean, we had a very similar philosophy in the Aberdeen game that ultimately saw we just wore them out. And we saw the possibility of that also on film with the T and Yankton game. And so we kind of said, hey, we're going to structure a lot of the same philosophy. No matter what, we're not going to deviate from the game plan of rotating our guys. We're going to rotate our guys. We're going to let everybody get some work. And eventually by the end of the game, we're going to be as fresh as we can be, and we're going to be able to take it to them. And I think ultimately that's why we got, some of those stops and, balls that we were a split second under. Then all of a sudden when their guys were, just a little bit tired, that we were able to pick those balls off, or we were able to make plays and bat those down. And we really started doing a better job of blitzing through the A gap and really causing pressure. And you got to see when their quarterback started to get happy feet, those errant throws started to work out in our favor.
I really wish we had like another hour to talk about this because that was a fantastic answer, and I wish we had a little bit more time. But let's not talk about football right now because you went from Friday winning the state championship to Monday morning practice for wrestling. The first 3 days of wrestling are behind us now for practice. How's that been for the boys program?
You know, it's been good. It's always interesting. It's, you know, you try to balance and be the example of, hey, you know, you try to give some guys time off, but it's like, man, I took Saturday, Sunday. And so you really got to take those 2 days and enjoy your family and do the things, and then realize it's time to get back after it. And, you know, when I think I've been, you know, and I say this, I've been blessed with having successful football teams that I've been a part of coaching, and then also successful wrestling teams. And so out of my last 15 years, 8 of them, you know, throughout the 2 different schools of both Aberdeen and now here in Pierre, that I've had to jump right into wrestling 2 days later. You know, or I think one year in AAA we played in the finals with Aberdeen. We played on Saturday night and had wrestling on Monday morning. So, I mean, it's a blessing. It really is. It wears you out a little bit, but ultimately it is the place that you would rather be because you wouldn't have it any other way. If you got eliminated in the playoffs and then all of a sudden had a month break, I just think, man, how bad would that suck? So I would much rather be where we're at right now.
I was going to say, because you don't know what it's like in the last 6 years, being able to not go 2 days later or, you know, whatever it might have been. It's been every Friday night you play the state championship in the last 5 years, and then Monday morning comes practice time. And there's a lot of guys that were beat up in football at the end of Friday who also wrestle too. And how has that been trying to get to? Because there's a lot of guys in slings after football is over, and even on
Tell
Monday.
me about it.
You're right. How do you handle that and all those? You know, you mentioned too. Try and give guys days off, but how do you handle getting those injuries back going forward? Because obviously you dealing with one at your house right now.
Yeah, you know, you have to trust in your trainer. I mean, ultimately, Casey Michelson is phenomenal. I can't speak enough positive words toward her. You trust that the kids are still going to come to practice, but their job for practice is to go and see her, go get their treatments, go do their exercises, and, you know, ultimately you kind of leave that in her hands. You know, it's also a double-edged sword because you do want to remember you're probably not going to win a state championship in November. I mean, they've never handed out the trophy in November, so you want to get those guys back. You want to get them healthy for February, but then you take the flip side of the coin. You're like, all right, our first competition's in Mandan. And in North Dakota, wrestling's no joke. And in North Dakota, they also start wrestling a week before us. So they have a week more preparation, and those are the first guys you're going against. You know, and then you're going against Sturgis and you're going against Stevens because they're up there. And those guys have had those 3 extra weeks to have open mats and things like that. So, you know, you kind of like you just want to get after it, but then you also just got to keep big picture. And I think we're pretty good on keeping the big picture, and we'll get kids back when they need to get back, and, you know, we'll get our lineup set. And I can guarantee you that our January lineup is going to look completely different than our beginning of the December lineup.
And so how many guys in the starters for varsity and making the state tournament, your weight classes, how many guys graduated from last year?
You know, we had like 6 guys graduate from last year, which, you know, left some pretty big holes. You know, when you think of guys that have been in your lineup forever, you know, you got Kaylor Heineman, Reagan, Larson, and Preston, and, you know, a couple of the guys that were in there, Tafoya. They've just been in there forever. You know, you think of that senior class and what they had for us. You have some 3-4 year starters, multiple time state place winners, and they've all really went to battle. So, you know, you kind of see the room, and it's a little new feel without those big guys in there. And, you know, it's a new feel, it's a new year, but it's a new team and new opportunity for other kids to step up and take those leadership roles.
And who do you like some of the younger guys early on to maybe fill those roles, or what you see that you know, even maybe not this year, but in the next couple of years there are going to be a couple of good dudes on this team?
Yeah, we've really got a lot of juniors and sophomores and even freshmen for that matter. And so, I mean, there's a ton of guys. I could talk forever. You know, E.J. Bucci is a freshman that we actually sprinkled in a little bit of varsity time for football too. I get to wrestle with all the time because he's close to my weight. So I've really been pushing, you know, him pretty hard in this early week. And, you know, I think he's definitely going to be a dude for us. He's going to be a freshman at about 195. And I just don't know how big he's going to get. I mean, he could get real big. And I told him today, I'm like, hey, keep your head up. You know, your coach whooped you today because I got to assert some dominance, but you're going to more than repay me down the road with these butt beatings. So I relish the time when it comes.
And that's the fun thing too, is you get a chance to jump in, and because I think last year right around the end of wrestling season, maybe after the wrestling season, you had surgery, so you didn't even have an opportunity. Were you able to still practice all the way through and be able to get on the mat with those guys?
Yeah, so not last year, but the last 2 years, immediately after the season, I've had 2 ankle surgeries for an injury while I was wrestling with some kids. So I've really never missed a day of practice, I tell you what. Casey's great. She tapes that sucker up. We rock and roll, and I don't miss a beat because with wrestling it's a feel thing, and the best way that I can teach is not with my words. I have to teach with my body. I have to teach with my positioning, and ultimately I have to model what it is that's going on, and that's what I think is kind of a special and very intimate thing about the sport of wrestling.
And I think that's a huge thing too, is being able to not just stand there and say that you got to do this, you got to do that, but being able to show and lead by example of how things are done. I think that's going to be a lot, and really good for those kids too, to be able to learn that way and not just say, you got to put your arm here, here, or here, and they're going, I don't really know. You're not, and especially if you're listening on the radio, you have no idea where my arms are at, and that's maybe sometimes if you just say it they don't know exactly what you're meaning.
Correct. I mean, you have to be able to do that, and then, with that, it's I'm not a huge guy, but I wrestle with the upper guys, and we're very fortunate this year of getting in Jebin Keys to be an assistant wrestling coach. He can be and work with all my lighter guys. I still try to wrestle with the lighter guys so I can get a feel of what they're doing, because if I can get a feel, then I think I can coach them better. But, with our girls being split and what I'd call my guys, because I still say that they're my guys, half my coaching staff got split up. And so, with Coach Thornson and Coach Heasley going over to girls and ultimately doing the right thing, I was stuck looking for an assistant wrestling coach, and it was absolutely phenomenal to be able to get Jebin Keys back into town, a kid who, when I was coaching, I had in the room for 4 years and was blessed to, coach him in the finals 4 times, and he was a 3-time state champ for us. So, removing those guys from the room and the familiarity that I have with them, but yet being able to add him, it does feel like old times, and, he's hit the ground running, and I feel like we're a really good balance of each other coaching. So, super excited to have Jebin in the room to be able to help with that feel and with those, younger kids. And it's a blessing for Pierre to be able to get him back here.
Talking with Coach Shawn Lewis here, the Pierre Governor wrestling team, the boys wrestling program, and we're going to have plenty more conversations throughout this wrestling season. But before I let you go, going to Mandan here in a couple weeks, what do you want to see? We kind of already touched on it, but what do you want to see from your team?
I just want to see our kids go and compete. I'll echo that of what Coach Thorson said. That first weekend, you may have a completely different lineup than you have later on. So I want to go see our dudes be dudes, and I want to go see our young kids that are able to get out there on the mat for the first time and, not look at the lights and things like that. Just go out and do what they've done a million times before. And, they've wrestled in tournaments, and it's just kind of take it and – you got a lot of learning to do in those first couple weeks, and so we're going to go out against some of the best competition. I mean, you go up there to Mandan, you get to see Bismarck, you get to see Sturgis, you get to see Stevens, West Fargo, some of the best that North Dakota has to offer, and it's a huge learning experience. So for us to go up there and compete would be a great thing. I don't necessarily have team expectations there right now because, well, we don't even know our exact lineup yet, so that's a tough piece to say.
Coach Shawn Lewis of the Pierre Governor Wrestling program. Coach, congratulations again on the state championship on Friday, and have some more fun in practice, and can't wait to talk to you some more about the wrestling season.
Will do. Appreciate it.
Coach Shawn Lewis of the Pierre Wrestling program. We return to wrap things up here on Coach's Corner. You're listening to Coach's Corner here live from the Long Branch on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For an excellent choice to meet, greet, or eat, be sure to head to downtown Pierre and the Long Branch. The Long Branch has plenty of room for the big groups, cozy spots for that intimate setting, and you're going to love the selections and variety on their menu. Plus, their specials are sure to please. There's a fantastic variety of libations available, and it's a great place to unwind. Now, home of KCCR Coach's Corner Wednesday nights, come on down to the LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pierre Street, downtown Pierre.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
This is Coach's Corner on Central Sports Station, AM 1240. Today's KCCR.
And we welcome you back here live at the Long Branch as we wrap things up. And again, we want to say thanks to Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governor football team, Hawaii hockey, Coach Matt Thornson of the Pierre Governor football team and girls wrestling program, Coach Tiffany Stoeser of the Pierre volleyball team, and Coach Shawn Lewis of the Pierre football team and boys wrestling program. Here at the Long Branch, tomorrow evening, 4 to 6, they have their business after hours. Make sure you stop by here 4 to 6 o'clock tomorrow night here at the Long Branch. You enjoy food, beverages. It will be the Pierre Chamber members will be here, and we can win some door prizes here at the Long Branch, downtown Pierre, right here tomorrow night, 4 to 6 o'clock here at the Long Branch. And again, Pierre volleyball plays tomorrow afternoon, 2:45 Central Time. Will be their first serve of their game against Brandon Valley. Be on the air 20 minutes prior to first serve, right here on KCCR and online at kccrradio.com. That wraps it up for another edition of Coach's Corner. We will be back next Wednesday. It's the day before Thanksgiving, but we'll be back here for another edition of Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch, as we want to say again, thanks to the Long Branch for hosting us another week. You've been listening to Coach's Corner here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner on KCCR and online at kccrradio.com. Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch has been brought to you by Kruger Contracting, Avera St. Mary's, Bank West, Birding Electric, Gales Gas, Edward Jones Financial, Gateway Ford, Lincoln and Toyota, Midwest Co-op, and Oahe Federal Credit Union. Coach's Corner on KCCR is also brought to you by Lamb Motor, First Dakota National Bank, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, and Wagner Auto. Join us every Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 6:30 for Coach's Corner, live at the Long Branch in Pierre or on air at KCCR or kccrradio.com. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront Broadcasting Sports, Central South Dakota's sports leader.